When I first set eyes on that lake, I swear I felt like I'd stumbled into a secret. The world forgot a hush cut straight out of heaven, untouched, unclaimed, no footprints but mine. I wasn't looking for drama. I came out here to heal up, to breathe again after years in the grinder, to watch the sun slide off glassy water, and maybe feel like the earth belonged to somebody honest for a change, maybe even me. But you know how it goes: own something rare and beautiful, and people will do anything to convince you it's theirs too. Yeah, that happened. The first time I saw the property, it was barely past sunrise. Mist peeled off the surface, slow as silk, and for a moment I honestly thought the realtor had brought me to the wrong address, or maybe just handed me a little piece of heaven by accident. No river, no creek, just a spring-fed lake tucked between the soft Oklahoma ridgelines, not even mapped by the Corps of Engineers. I knew what I was buying, every clause, every loophole. No easements, no repair area nightmares. The whole lake bed and the shore filed under a private number legal fortress. I'd spent years as a federal attorney fighting land disputes, so when I tell you this place was mine, I mean in every way that matters. I moved into a modest ranch house up above the southern shore, wraparound porch, slow Wi-Fi, the kind of spot where the quiet settles into your bones. Wrote legal guides for farmers, did remote consulting, just the life I promised myself after DC burned me out. First year, I hardly saw a soul. Then out of nowhere, Cedar View Landing popped up to the north, brand new HOA, all slick homes and luxury promises. Their northernmost row sat real close to my fence, close enough for the kids to peek over like they were casing a bakery. It started innocent enough. One Saturday, a young family, father, mother, 2 kids, waved while I was hauling lumber. Asked polite if they could fish for a bit. I hesitated, but the kids were so eager and the parents didn't have that entitled whine I'd grown to dread, so I laid out rules. Daylight only, no motors, no trash, no noise. They nodded, thanked me, and honestly followed every rule. For a while I figured, hey, let the kids have a memory. Word got out in Cedar View that the lake guy was reasonable, and more families showed up, always asking, always polite. I heard laughter, the soft splash of a fishing lure, nothing crazy. I even built a floating dock on my side, waved to folks from my coffee perch some mornings. But little cracks started to show: beer cans under bushes, candy wrappers in the reeds. Then music late one Saturday, not just a little Bluetooth speaker, but full-on party vibes. Lifted pickups parked on my grass tires, sunk deep into the mud. When I asked, they shrugged. We're friends with the Parkers. It's chill. The Parkers, who I'd trusted, now apparently giving out VIP lake passes like candy. I tried the direct route calm talk with the Parkers. They were polite but defensive. We pay HOA dues. You should be happy we're giving your lake exposure. Everyone loves the view. That phrase stuck my leg, but spoken like an invitation to negotiation, like if they just willed it hard enough, it'd belong to them too. Spiritually maybe, but legally, not a chance. I put up new signs. Private property, no trespassing, no littering, even installed a motion camera facing the northern bank. Wasn't about playing sheriff, just had this gnawing sense I'd need evidence one day. But it kept escalating. Groups dragged kayaks over the fence, held cookouts, left behind marshmallow wrappers and charred wood. One morning, my dock was scrape deep fiberglass hull gashes. No note, just damage, and an unopened beer can wedged in the slats like a frat boy's calling card. That's when I started drafting a real policy. Not a threat, just more than a handshake. Here's the thing, people don't understand the value of peace until they trample it. I wasn't mad, not yet, but I was watching. Memorial Day weekend, year 3. The dam broke. Bass thumped through the valley so loud it rattled my windows. I step outside, see a whole lake party, 15 people, coolers, umbrellas, Jeep parked damn near in the water, EDM blaring, kids cannonballing, somebody grilling hot dogs under a Cedar View lake bash canopy. I stood there stunned, not by the trespass, but the pure entitlement they were advertising my lake like a public park. I filmed as I walked up. Some woman, neon bikini, shouts, "You should join us. It's your lake, right?" Grinning like she's doing me a favor. I unplug the speaker, music dies, people groan. The grill guy, bald and beer-bellied, slurs. "Come on, it's just a lake, don't be that guy." I point at the sign behind him. "Private property." I clean up garbage after draft a bulletproof letter to the HOA. Polite legal with photos and video, mailed and emailed everything by the book. 3 days later, I get a reply. Randall Crane, HOA president, self-declared steward of Cedar View, certified jackass, emails back condescending as hell. "While we appreciate your generosity, Cedar View was marketed as a waterfront community and our residents expect access. Your recent escalation undermines the spirit of our neighborhood. We may pursue legal avenues to restore traditional access." Restore traditional access, like teenagers smashing beer cans on my dock, was a sacred right. So I built a new fence, 6 feet, steel mesh posts deep and concrete sealed, signs everywhere, cameras, motion sensors, the works. Retaliation came fast. Spray paint selfish, scrawled across the sign fence posts, knocked down trail of cigarette butts and torn beer cartons. Cameras caught enough faces, but I held off calling the cops. Tried reaching out to Randall. He refused, said to talk to HOA legal. Then came the newsletter, slipped under my gate lead article reclaiming our lake. Tearjerker quotes, "Children cry every night divides hearts." Would have been funny if it wasn't so manipulative. I sent one last letter, notarized copies everywhere, any more trespass I'd prosecute. All interactions documented. Silence followed. Not peace, just quiet storm clouds holding their breath. Until October, when I got a thick manila envelope notice of civil litigation. Cedar View HOA v. Me claiming my fence signs and cameras violated community expectations and the emotional rights of residents to interact with their environment. Emotional rights. I poured whiskey, sat on the porch, watched the moon, then got to work. I pulled deed surveys, drone photos, legal correspondence, everything. Called contractors with proof of all the trash, even injuries from broken glass left by Cedar View parties. Filed a county records request. Nowhere did Cedar View guarantee lake access, not a single line, just glossy marketing. Sent a legal explainer to every resident, screenshots, maps, property lines, who really owns the lake. The silence after that, delicious. HOA doubled down, emergency meetings, Randall ranting about shared horizons. Somebody recorded it. He called me the villain with a doc. I filed a motion to dismiss stacked with affidavits and expert opinions, and then I hit back counterclaim for harassment, property damage, reputational harm, no more defense. Judge set a hearing for December. Court day, I wore a plain suit, calm as a guy walking his own land. Randall showed up late with 2 lawyers and a smirk like he'd just sold a lemon. Judge Harper, tough sharp, not one for nonsense, opened with, "This is the case about the lake." Randall's lawyer sputtered, "Tried to make my lake into some community, right?" Judge cut them off. "You're arguing a private owner is obligated to let strangers use his lake because it's pretty." The gallery chuckled. 3 years of historic use didn't fly. She looked at my deeds, laughed at the HOA newsletter about divided hearts. Ruling came quick, motion to dismiss, granted hint of sanctions if they tried this again. Outside, I breathed deep. Wasn't over yet. Silence followed, but I knew that kind of quiet. Within weeks, the game started. Unmarked SUV parked by my fence driver, flashes a badge too quick to read, mumbles about property inspection. Then a drone buzzed low over my dock. Next morning, camera smashed by a rock. I kept it cool, documented everything, building a paper trail. The big twist. Mason, my contractor, was blocked by a county official in a fake vest demanding a phantom permit. County confirmed no such permit, no agent. I emailed every board member, gave them a legal warning, next move I sue. Got a creepy note in my mailbox, keep your fence, lose your peace, cute. Lawyer and I filed a civil claim, harassment, defamation, attempted intimidation. Meanwhile, cracks appeared inside Cedar View, anonymous apology letters, newsletters, turning cautious talk of reassessment. But the petty stuff kept coming. Dead fish dumped by my sign. I just made my banners bigger. Trespassers will be fined $10,000 and sued. You are not entitled to this lake. Move on. Second hearing, the gallery was packed. I was the plaintiff, Randall the defendant. I brought photos, videos, affidavits, even a resigned board member confirming Randall encouraged harassment and spent HOA money on intimidation. Judge Harper's face said it all. This was more than a boundary spat. It was malicious HOA abuse. Injunction granted, matter referred to the state for harassment review. Gasps in the courtroom. Randall looked like he'd swallowed a pine cone. I didn't gloat, but I did look him in the eye. Yeah, that happened. Within a week, a resignation letter landed on my doorstep, anonymous but bitter. 3 families quit the HOA. Moving trucks circled like vultures. Cedar View's facade started to crack. Home values slipped, then nosedived. The board was gutted. The HOA dissolved, left broke and rudderless. I took part of my settlement, built an even better fence, upgraded cameras, and bought a buffer strip of land to keep the HOA at arm's length forever. Local paper ran a story, The Lake That Fought Back. My favorite line was from Judge Harper. You don't get to vote on someone else's deed. Landowners wrote to thank me, sent photos of their own signs. One guy even mailed a t-shirt with a cartoon HOA president drowning in red tape. Winter came early that year, and for the first time in ages, the lake was just quiet. No music, no parties, no mess. Just honest, hard-won silence. I hosted a rancher from 2 counties over who wanted advice about his own HOA nightmare. We sat on the porch, shared coffee, looked out over that glassy water. He asked, "You ever think about selling?" I just laughed and shook my head. Not for all the HOA dues in the world. So let me ask you, where do you stand on all this? Should beauty belong to everybody, even if it means breaking the law, or does ownership matter? In the end, drop a comment. Tell me your story, and let's talk about what justice really means when neighbors draw the line.